God bless you again. This is part 2. I really want to answer this young lady's question. Again, she asked, I have a few questions of my own. How can Christians show affection towards one another while courting? Are we allowed to kiss? What are some inappropriate physical actions that should not be done by us? Again, this is part 2. Check out part 1. Very important. In part 1, we learned that our bodies don't even belong to us. They belong to the Lord. They don't belong to even our parents. This is how we see this wrong teaching, is how we see some parents molesting their children, abusing their children, making their children labor when the parents should be laboring for the children. A parent is supposed to be a good steward to help the child learn how to steward their body, or in other words, help the child learn how to be responsible over their body so they can glorify God with their body. What we learn very clearly is that we are supposed to glorify God with our bodies. We're supposed to submit our members to Him as instruments for righteousness. We also learn that our bodies are valuable to God. He bought them with a price. And so we are to take care of our bodies, what we eat, what we don't eat, what we do, what we don't do. We are to take care of our bodies for the sake of glorifying God. We are responsible for them. We're responsible not to let certain people touch them. We're responsible to allow certain people to touch them. Different things of that nature. We are responsible for being good stewards over our bodies, again, in the sight of God. Not everybody, no one deserves a kiss, a hug, a handshake just because. You have to choose what to do with your body so that it glorifies God. So that's a little bit about part 1. But what I really want to get into here in part 2 is the question. And there are 2 words that I want to share with you for part 2. The first word is wisdom, and the second word is honor. I want to take a look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, starting at verse 3. It says, "The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband. For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does." This is a sweet and interesting swap here with the husband. The husband has right or authority over the wife's body, and he shares it with the wife. The wife are given into somebody else's power. It's the only place in the Bible you will see, not even with parents, where God shares what belongs to him with somebody else, or at least the body. He shares it with the husband. The husband has right or authority over the wife's body, and he shares it with the wife. The wife has authority or right over the husband's body. And so it's an interesting little switch going on here, where the Bible teaches, oh, well, the husband gets to enjoy his wife's body, and the wife gets to enjoy her husband's body. And the two are kind of responsible for each other's bodies, taking care of them, loving them, and all those different types of things. That's the only place. And so what it is simply this. Here's part of the answer to the question. We must learn to honor our bodies, not only for God, but also for the spouse to come, or the spouse that is. The spouse to come to the spouse that is. What I want to ask you is just simply this. Will your husband, if you're a woman, and will your wife, if you're a man, have any place to kiss on your body that someone else has not already kissed? Will your husband or your wife have a place to touch your body that someone else has not already touched? Will your husband or wife have the opportunity to be the first one to enjoy the fullness of your body in terms of sexual intimacy? See, there's a beautiful thing that is great when you're the first one. And then it's even better when you're the only one. And that's an awesome thing for a husband to know that he's the first one and the only one. It's an awesome thing for a wife to know that she's the first one and the only one. This is how we honor our bodies, because we must use them for God, but we also must keep them pure, holy before God, also for our spouse. Think about that. This gets into the idea of kissing and where people are allowed to kiss, if they're allowed to kiss, and what their kissing should happen, if it at all should happen. I know one couple, they did not kiss until they got married. They did not kiss until they got married. And I'm sure it was a blessing. It was a great thing. That kiss meant a whole lot, because it meant that they waited for each other, that they loved each other, that they sacrificed for each other, that they didn't follow the way of the world, but they followed the way that was shown in their heart to honor one another's bodies, until they made the ultimate commitment to say, I don't only give you my body, but I give you my life, and I trust my life in your hands. That's an awesome ultimate commitment. I know another couple, and what they did is they used wisdom. And so he never kissed her on her cheek, on her hand, or any place like that. He only kissed her on her forehead. Now, some people saying that forehead kiss, I know you've seen the movie, but that was not his goal or his intention. His entire goal and intention was to honor her and not just take what did not belong to him. There was time before that where he didn't kiss her at all, because that was the wisdom or the honoring of her. How are you using your body? How are you stewarding your body so that you're honoring your husband even if you're not married, if you're a woman? How are you stewarding your body? How are you using your body so that you're honoring your wife even though you're not married, if you're a man? We should be thinking about these things and doing these things, because rightly so, you're either giving away what belongs to God or you're giving away what actually belongs to your spouse. There's never a time in the Bible where the Bible teaches that your body belongs to you. Only your spouse or God. These are the only two things that it teaches. And so now when we're talking about kissing, we have to think about honoring our spouse. And we have to think about wisdom in terms of understanding that the flesh, the feeling, the touch, all those different things, what the eyes take in, what the nose smells, what we taste, all those things are what kind of arouses the sin inside of us. So are we allowed to kiss? Absolutely. You're allowed to kiss. But you need to use wisdom in whether you do kiss or not. A relationship where a person says, I know how valuable you are. I know how awesome it is to be able to touch your body, to love you in that way, to be able to enjoy you in that way. I understand the value of your body. That's an awesome relationship. And for someone to sacrifice and say, I'm willing to give that up until I make an ultimate commitment to you, that's an awesome, awesome thing. So we need to think about these things, and we need to gather wisdom on if we're going to kiss, how we're going to kiss. What do we do when we kiss? There are definitely some inappropriate actions, but what I don't want to do is cause us sin that's not. I could say, never touch her butt. But what if there's something on her butt, such as, I don't know, maybe a scorpion or something crazy like that, or a bee, and you have to swipe it off? Is that a sin? Well, no, not necessarily. It depends what's going on in your heart and what you're thinking. That's why you have to use wisdom. That's why you have to guide your heart, because the Bible teaches us where the sin comes from is our heart. So the question really behind all your actions, behind everything you do, is what's your motive? Why are you doing it? Where is this going to lead you? Be very careful, because if you give yourself an inch, especially in this flesh, you may fall a mile. And we don't want that to happen. So you have to use wisdom. You have to think about honoring your body, because your body doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God, and He shares it with your spouse. And so you need to take care of your body with that in mind. God bless you. I hope this is of great help. I pray for you and all that you do in all your relationships. God bless you. I love you.